And welcome to the WMAR Vault. I'm Jamie Costello. Here at WMAR, we're celebrating 75 years on the air. We were the first TV station in Maryland, and now we're setting our sights on the future in streaming. And to that end, we've been opening up our vault and dusting off the nearly 16 million feet of archive footage. You know, Maryland has seen a lot of inventions come and go throughout the years. Some, stuck around and became trends, while others never even made it off the ground. So this week, we are going to take a look back at the years before smartphones and before PlayStations, a time when the big term, big tech, wasn't even in our vocabulary.
Thought of this in 1948 when a plastic top on a Mercury went by. I seen the man was in, let's say, agony from the sun. And I thought of, with an oil in between two pieces of plastic, that this would take and be the answer. So I worked on it from that time, and I perfected it in January of 1967. This changes colors, and the way it does it is there's a clear liquid in this space here. It's hermetically sealed. There is a liquid in the tube, a colored liquid. Whenever this is rotated, gravity takes over and displaces. This green displaces the color.
What were we skating on?
We had the pleasure here of skating a few minutes ago on instant ice. It's a vinyl plastic, and I'd call this more or less history in the making. It's a brand new product from Montreal, Canada. Vinyl plastic, and then we took a wax called silicone, and it looks just like milk, and we put a tiny little film on there, a little layer. And then you wait about 20 minutes till it dries, and then you can skate on it for a week or to 2 weeks.
Why was it so hard to skate? It felt like I was skating against a 40-mile-an-hour wind.
It's because, did you notice also, after you got through skating, that your blades will get real hot. After 20 minutes, they get so hot you can almost light a cigarette. The reason for this is because of the friction. It's like skating on a piece of linoleum, and that's the reasons that the Russians bought this, and they're training right now a couple Olympic teams on this, hoping in the future that when they put their athletes on the real ice, that they'll be twice as fast as everybody else. We call that progressive resistance exercises, PRE, the same principle as weightlifting.
Mr. Leduc also told me that he feels that in 6 months to a year, this particular material may be perfected enough for the use of the general public. This is Susan White reporting for Newswatch.
The lights are flashing. Disco skate is here. Not quite like in LA, and not quite like in New York. What's the difference? A 14-year-old veteran skater, Leroy Harris, filled me in.
It's in Baltimore a great deal, but, it's just not recognized because there's a lot of stars and everything out in California. In Baltimore, it's basically everyday people.
There were no fancy skating outfits like we've seen on national television, but many of the skaters here in Rosedale have made a hefty investment in the sport. They're rolling on it.
Well, yeah, these are my very own. These wheels cost about $45. The bearings inside the wheels are $20. The plate costs $275. This boot costs $150, and the stopper's $10. So altogether, you got about a $500 skate here.
Any weeknight, by the way, is a good night to skate. The weekend crowd isn't around, and if you're a beginner, it means you have more space to yourself. You're less likely to be run over if, or should I say when, you fall. It's less embarrassing to be the only one wobbling around the rink, missing the beat while everybody else is gliding with perfect rhythm. And any night, it's great exercise.
See? Even I can do it. No fancy steps, but it's still a lot of fun. This is Joyce Jefferson on the night scene at the Rosedale Skating Center.
Here I am, an ordinary guy with kids, a dog, a station wagon, and a couple of TVs, and I'm being told everywhere that I also ought to have and ought to want a home computer, a personal computer. Well, personally, I wonder what in the world I ought to want one for and what in the world I'd do with it if I had one. There are answers. What will a personal computer do for me? Computer ads ask, and they are quick to answer. 100 companies are now making billions of dollars persuading individuals to buy computers, which cost anywhere from under $100 to over $10,000. The services salesmen promote may or may not compute.
One of the most common applications is personal finance management, if you will.
There's checkbook reconciliation. You can keep track of your tax-deductible items, which for some people worth quite a bit of money. You can have recipe files, home inventories for insurance purposes.
Your wife could store recipes on it for instant recall, inventories of your home items for insurance purposes.
To balance checkbooks or to do an inventory of their household or something like that.
But a professor of computer science at Johns Hopkins University seriously questions whether most home uses justify buying a home computer.
I have some reservation about running out and spending a lot of money for a computer to do my household accounts or chores or maybe my income tax. I, in my own mind, wonder whether or not I could do that just as easily with a paper and pencil.
However, that doesn't mean Dr. Schiffman thinks we don't need to learn about computers and perhaps to own one, as he and others make clear.
The future world will definitely need computers for survival.
That younger generation is going to be a little bit illiterate if they aren't computer trained.
Most of the job markets are emerging in the computer-related or computer-dominated industries.
What happens if I don't buy it?
I think you're going to be a little bit behind everybody else because I think everybody will eventually have a computer.
So that's basically it. Before we get into hardware and software without learning about bits and bytes and 64K memories, the pressure is the threat that you'll be left behind by your kids, if not your colleagues and competitors. That's why the Jim Boyles bought one with little thought of practical uses for themselves. That's why instruction is almost as big a business as sales. That's why you may need computers even if you never touch one. I'm Andy Barth.
School officials want to spend $70,000 on a consulting firm as a first step toward putting computers in each of the city's 185 schools, a move that would cost between $1 and $1.5 million. Educators say the microcomputers would be used to teach, score tests, and analyze results. However, the National Anti-Drug Coalition thinks teaching by computer is a mistake. But why is an organization that puts out a magazine called War on Drugs concerned with computers in the classroom? Well, the coalition's regional coordinator, Debbie Freeman, says there is a connection between school curriculum and susceptibility to drugs. The problem, she contends, is the way computers teach, by drilling a student and then grilling him for the right answer.
Now you have the same drill and grill techniques, which give absolutely no attention to developing a child's ability to conceptualize, developing his ability to comprehend ideas, and instead is pushing him into this kind of rote learning, which we feel is very destructive to a child's cognitive powers, in the same way that drugs are very destructive to their cognitive powers.
Freeman added that helping children who attend a school such as this one understand a problem is more important than having them simply accept an answer coming from a computer, simply because the computer says the answer is right. Ron Olson, Channel 2 News Scene, Baltimore.
Anne Arundel County Community College has announced its commencement speaker for this year. In the past, they've had some county commissioners speak. They've had the county executive speak at commencement. This year, a robot. Robot Redford, to be exact, no relation to the actor with the same family name, although some say there is a slight resemblance. He's seen here in some publicity photos. He's the one with the baseball cap and the bow tie. A strange combination, but maybe not for robots. Actually, Redford will be here with his creator, a robot expert and builder who will, in addition to giving his commencement speech, present seminars on robotics and high technology. And campus administrators insisted that the commencement speaker was appropriate.
But beyond the novelty, there is the seriousness of intent to use this robot as a kind of personification of the automated dimensions of business and industry. The talk he presents is going to be serious.
Actually, we found out about the appearance of Robot Redford before most of the student body. For the most part, they were more concerned about the change in the weather today than in graduation. You know that the commencement speaker this year is going to be a robot?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Computer can't put much passion into a speech, really.
I think that's going a little bit too far. I think he best to have a person in there.
What can a robot say? Because he hasn't been to college before.
As one of the administrators here put it, this is not a new concept. This is not the first time a completely programmed android has spoken at a commencement exercise. It's only the first time one has intentionally been asked. Lou Davis, News Scene 2 at Anne Arundel Community College.
It's inevitable, a trip to the grocery store.
Often I come to the store.
Metro is changing grocery shopping.
We are going to put a supermarket in everybody's home.
Just click on the button that looks like me in the bottom right.
In November, Baxter Bag will be yours for free. And then you'll pay $6.95 a month to shop at home.
Just the same prices you'd have as if you walked in the front door.
William and Robert grew up in Annapolis, and now they base their company in Pennsylvania. This is their target audience.
Shopping takes a long time with 3 kids, and you usually forget half of your groceries.
You can make a list and check it twice.
You can go to sale items, things that are on sale in the store that day, drag them right into your cart.
You won't have to spend your Saturdays in the aisles. You're paying for convenience.
I stay about 2 hours.
It was only yesterday when you were considered a big shot holding a calculator.
You can pay electronically with a credit card or a debit card, or you can pay just as you do in the store.
Whoa, that's too high. Start deleting. Now, if there's a drawback, some customers said, I want to see what I'm buying. I want to come in and squeeze and smell the tomatoes. But now you can be specific.
If you want to attach a note and say, I like my bananas slightly green, you'll be able to do that.
But this is not commercial-free. Commercials run continuously.
Keeps the price way down for the consumer, and it also adds life to the screen.
Metro, the first to pound the keys, to offer full banking and chicken on ice, is now entering a new age.
Everything is going to be computerized.
Jamie Costello, News Channel 2.
Video games. They're fast, fun, 25 to 50 cents per game, and according to some kids, addicting. With the 1982-83 school season close at hand, that video fever has Baltimore City parents concerned. Many communities contend kids skip classes to play the space-age toys. Beachfield is one such community, and they want a law that will stop it.
Current law, it says 16. No one under 16 is supposed to be playing. However, from the complaints we received, we find that they're down in the 9, 10, 11-year-old class they're playing, and the 2 complaints that we did receive was about the children's lunch money being played in video games.
Are Beachfield kids really skipping classes to battle electronic foes? Well, we went to the source to find out.
But there's people doing it every day, a school day, every day. They're going up there, they're getting suspended just to come down here sometimes, and then they just go here and they go in there and they play the machines.
It must be, because they don't just come up here during lunch hour. You see them here all hours of the day.
And you think they're skipping classes to come out and play?
Yeah, I know they are.
It's no secret then, huh?
No.
Well, what, they just sneak by the teachers?
They don't even go to school, they just come down here and hook.
The video arcade business. It's become a billion-dollar industry, but not for everyone. Tonight, by a vote of 14 to 5, the Baltimore City Council reluctantly passed 2 license amendments. Amendments that'll be tough on local businesses. The amendments are expected to get the final approval vote in the special council session on July 28th. The first amendment calls for the tax to be doubled from $150 to $300 per machine license. The second calls for the additional funds placed at about $600,000 or more to be pumped into the city's education revenues. Now, no one in council tonight was 100% in favor of the amendments. In fact, the bill's sponsor had a change of heart.
I did not vote for it. I recognize that there are individuals who would like to see additional funds go to education, and I support them, but I just feel that there are other ways to generate revenue for the Department of Education.
But how will the city businessmen who depend on the machines for a living be affected?
I think that they're probably going to go up just to compensate for the taxes, because I feel this is the first step of the attacks increase, I think they're going to go up even higher after this. And I think the vendors and the personal owners are going to have to be compensated for it.
I want to go out of business, but it's going to hurt me more and more. It's hurting everybody.
So it is clear most of the city council anyway has voted half-heartedly to approve this bill. As for the businessmen affected, some will be forced to close. Others say they'll try to survive. Mike Hofeld, News Scene 2, Southwest Baltimore.
From big chain stores to small neighborhood shops, video stores have popped up everywhere in recent years. So many that most observers predict a shakeout is coming and only the strong will survive.
As more and more outlets are out there, you are absolutely correct that we've reached a saturation level and that the traditional video store outlet is not going to be able to stay in business that much longer.
Despite the fierce competition, Dan Dixon and his partners are entering the video field, planning to succeed with Movie-matic, a machine that lets people rent movies on the run.
So you insert it in the card entry slot.
It works a lot like an automatic teller machine. After you insert your credit card, you punch in the number of the movie you want, and if your card clears a computer check, out pops your movie.
Even though there literally is a video store in every corner, it still requires a trip to get there. Machines located in locations such as this don't require a special trip. The consumer's here already. We're bringing the product directly to the consumer.
After 2 successful tests, Movie-matic opened for business this week at the Charles Station Metro Station. After getting a lesson in Movie-matic operation today, David Hurd said he didn't plan to cancel his Errol's membership, but
it's a lot of times that the video places are closed, and when you're coming through the subway, you might be pressed for time, so you can easily select a movie and get right on the subway. Very convenient.
Do you think this is something you might use?
Yes, definitely.
If Data Vend is right, a lot of Metro passengers will pause to rent movies on the way home from work, and the machines will eventually appear in grocery stores, office buildings, and other places people congregate. And Dixon says his company plans to sell other products through new vending machines.
Flowers, for example, paperback books, pantyhose might be an example. Anything where you have a lot of different varieties and relatively small packages.
So while vending machines have been around for years, primarily just for food, you think we're entering a whole new vending age?
We believe so. We believe so.
He packs 6 phones at home, a beeper on his hip, and a hello in his ear. He can two-step up and down any telephone line, for he is Baltimore's most reachable person. Meet the phone man, Albert Grimes, who whips out yet another telephone.
Hi, it's Al. No, just checking in. Did we get the fax we're waiting on? Okay, I'll be in a half hour.
It's a telephone. It is totally a telephone, but it's the first step of telephones for people, not places.
Grimes is taking cellular phones to the next level by coming up with this 8-ounce, 4-inch battery-operated wireless phone.
Cellular has been primarily 98% a business product. This product will approach consumerism because of its cost structure.
Okay, Albert, you brought it up, so tell us how much.
The phone itself will enter the market around $200, falling dramatically after year 3 to around $90 to $75 per phone. The cost will be $10 per month and 13 cents per minute. As you know, that approaches close to coin phone charges.
Baltimore is serving as a test market for the new device. You'll notice little antennas mounted on buildings all over town. And according to Grimes, the phone is more secure with greater range. So let's have a try. This must be Albert Grimes. Is that you, Albert?
Jamie, good morning.
Where are you?
Walking through the Inner Harbor.
I'm about 1.5 miles away from the Inner Harbor, heading north. Can you believe this?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Does it sound nice and clear to you?
It's excellent. Excellent connection here.
And you're still moving?
Yes, walking along, enjoying this wonderful weather we're having.
We expect the market to be probably 10 times greater than cellular. If you take into consideration cellular is a 9-year-old industry and has 6 million phones nationally, we are predicting 40 million households to use this device within 10 years of the release of the product.
All right, let me see, what will it be?
Waiting on the meatloaf, only ketchup, please. Got an apple pie coming, Brenda. Double cheeseburger, small fry, and a medium drink. Pepper here to go. Would you like ketchup on that?
Well,
large or small fry?
Cash or credit?
What? The home of the Whopper is offering cash or credit.
I think it's pretty bad if you have to use a credit card when you go to a fast food restaurant for something as little as $3.10.
Towson State students and business folk will surely test this latest capitalistic venture.
It's very simple. I'm saving to buy a pickup truck. And if I use my GM card, I get a 5% rebate. If I eat here long enough, I'll be able to buy a pickup truck.
Burger King bosses say workers won't have to figure out how much change the customer gets back.
I just hope it doesn't slow things down at the cash and carry, that people are going to be having to call New York and get the confirmation or, whatever it is, because when I want a Whopper, I want it now.
Burger bosses say it will in fact speed up the process and keep accurate records.
It's just another way to spend money. I'm sure it'll work for people on vacation when they don't have to do something, but I can't imagine it working on a day-to-day basis here.
So far, the smallest credit has been for $2.50, the largest just over 10. And what did they order?
Have a regular meatloaf sandwich, 2 fries, and a meatloaf sandwich, only ketchup.
Meatloaf sandwich, only ketchup.
Have a bacon double cheeseburger combo, a regular bacon double cheeseburger, and a small fry.
Jamie Costello, News Channel 2. Oh man, I never thought for a minute that today we'd be tapping our phones and using our thumbprints to pay for fast food. For 75 years, WMAR has brought you the news into your home. And from film to video to tiny digital cards, over the air, cable, satellite, now here we are streaming. And we'll keep moving forward and remember to look back at the stories and the moments that made us all Maryland. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the WMAR Vault. We'll see you next time.
The Maryland State Police have repeatedly proven to themselves that seatbelts are the most important piece of equipment that they have for safety. All of our cars are equipped with them, and yours should be, but they are worthless unless you use them. They are the best dollar's worth of safety that you can buy. Fasten your seatbelts, make courtesy an important part of your plan.
Hey, it's Jamie Costello. If you just enjoyed this episode of The Vault, you can check out more episodes by clicking on this box down here. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that circle, and that'll subscribe you to WMAR2 News for great content every single day.